For a quick snack, I'll whip one up. Today's the big day! Let's go to the Grand Bazaar and see how the celebration... Everybody's already here! Looks like we're the last ones to arrive.
I'm here.
Ah, there you are. Well, look who finally decided to show up.
You look like you came here immediately after finishing up some work.
But we're not late, are we? It's just that everyone else arrived ahead of time.
I propose that the last one who arrived be put in charge of today's speeches.
Nah, there won't be any speeches today.
Oh, really? Well,
Come join us over here. Let's share some great...
Everything looks quite good.
Wow! Paimon can't win! Whoa! It's so delicious! Oh, this grilled meat
The food was specially prepared for you by everyone in the Grand Bazaar. And we have gifts that were sent by the residents of Sumeru. Said everyone that came said that you saved Sumeru. Ah, feels kinda nice to be seen as a hero. I could get used to this.
Being a bodyguard is also a hero's job.
My lady sure has a way with words.
And I'm happy to meet everyone that participated in...
Don't mention it.
Come to think of it, we've really done something impressive together.
we owe it to our abilities. And luck.
Really? Why do I remember everybody thinking that luck was against us and feeling like we hardly...
That's how I remember it.
It's luck that brought us together, and it was luck that let us form a team. Then, it took even more luck for us to formulate a plan, and moreover, judging from the result,
Yeah. Everyone gave it their... It was almost like a performance. We took the stage and put on our... Everyone played their part. And thanks to everyone's efforts.
So, would you say we're good actors too?
It's such a blessing that Lesser Lord Kusanali was able to return...
Yes! Even after being abandoned and neglected so many times, she's finally returned. Uh-huh. Lesser Lord Kusanali once used all her power in a great disaster, which resulted in her losing all her wisdom and memories of the past. The academia basically abandoned... This should be something everybody should remember. Huh? You look surprised.
no, everything you...
That's good.
Something wrong?
Yeah, what's with that face? You...
Even if those two giants of the academia... Those sages really have some nerve. 500 years ago, Lesser Lord Kusanali used all her power for the people... If you bite the hand that feeds you, don't act surprised when it turns into a knuckle sandwich, right?
Perhaps I shouldn't say this, but their treatment of Lesser Lord Kusanali calls for a more severe punishment.
You could simply tell Lesser Lord Kusanali that you wish to have Azar and his
I respect our deity's decision, and won't interfere. While we're on this topic, why didn't you accept the academia's...
Are you trying to say that I'm fit to be a sage?
Not at all. But every person handling the selection process...
Why? Because he dethroned Azar from...
Could you try to put it another way? This is a good thing, yet you're making it sound like
But seriously, though, I always wondered if you had some...
I did have my own motive, but it had nothing to do with being... If the rules of our nation were suddenly cast by the wayside, then it wouldn't be long...
By that, you mean your life working as the academia's scribe.
Precisely.
Wait, is that all?
So, that's the only reason...
It's reason enough.
You've certainly got quite...
You flatter me.
All right then. How about you?
You've already...
That's right.
Will you be happy?
It's not about being happy. There are...
Even so, keep your spirits up and try to be happy, okay? And try to smile.
Thank you. I'll keep that in...
Ah, there you are. Well, how is it? Are you enjoying the feast today? If there's... That is the first time I've ever invited so many exceptional people to one place. You see, every guest here is quite extraordinary. Make sure you live it up tonight. I'll be happy as long as... I'm honored to have her think of me this way. If I have a chance in the future, I can't explain why, but
I seldom participate in such lively gatherings, but the atmosphere here is quite good. No. This gathering, the Grand Bazaar is lively because the people here feel happiness from the bottom of their heart. That happiness is an emotion that'll be forever alien to those books. I seem to have taken both. Oh well.
My lady, the grilled meat over there is delicious.
Yes, I also tried some fruit just now. What an amazing place to relax. No wonder...
You said it. Oh, look who else is here.
Hello! Oh, I'm so happy Nilu invited everybody. Oh, now I have the chance to meet all the
Hey, less of that polite chit-chat and more eating and drink.
The atmosphere here is good. And everything is delicious. Yeah, I don't often come to such places. I have a lot to handle these days. Otherwise, I could show you. There's always next time.
Hey, what's wrong? Your head is starting to droop. Hey, you can't just fall asleep here. Paimon will go find something delicious for you to eat. You wake up, of course. Just wait here for... It's me. You may blame me for being a bit too self-indulgent. The connection between us is amazing. It's like Flora... I heard there's an amazing celebration feast today at the Grand Bazaar. Lately, I've been so busy dealing with all the fallout from recent events, although you've already helped me with a lot. Please say thank you to everyone for me. But if I just show up all of a sudden, people... What if I end up scaring them and ruining this Okay. Yes, I have. You said I should go thank everyone as myself, right? So... I've decided to borrow your body for the time being. Please don't... Everyone! Are you awake now? Paimon was just about to bring you the food. It's me. Huh?
Hold up, what's going on?
I didn't expect to have a conversation with the consciousness of Lesser Lord Kusanali in the Grand Bazaar.
No, of course not. Are you... Lesser Lord...
Hello, Nilu.
You know who I am?
Yes. I already know every one of you.
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
I took the liberty of occupying the Traveler's body. Thank you so much for rescuing me. Even if that meant placing your own safety in peril and taking the risk without you, without any of you. I would have been in them had you not helped me to resolve the crisis. Not only I, but people refer to you as the heroes who managed to rescue a god. I'm quite fond of this name. It not only explains your identities, but also bears witness to your... Please, allow me to present to you my most sincere...
Lesser Lord Kusanali, you have done so much for Sumeru.
Dinyerzad, the suffering you endured during your illness is also
You don't need to be so ceremonious. It's always been my duty to protect you.
This is how the relationship between the Academia and Dendro Archon should be.
You're an Archon, but you act so humble. You really don't need...
I'm honored to have been able to take part in this plan.
Thank you, all of you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Are you awake? Did you rest well? After Nahida left, you ate a lot of food. You've become a glutton. That just means you still have a lot to learn from Master Paimon, the Sage of Gluttony. All right, since you're awake now, she should be in the Academia right about now. If you have... Race you! Hello, Traveler and Paim. What a fantastic night. I'm still immersed in awe. So are we. And that's why we're... Is there anything you want? After recent events, I've given it some thought. But this is definitely not about the Akasha Central. Although people may initially... And at the former sake, I hope that the other big issue I've already taken... He's still in a coma. I've hidden him like how one would hide a feather. I know you have many misgivings about him, but as someone who had become a god, he has retained a number of very useful features. Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on him and make... In addition, there are still some mysteries left in him. Some things may be very clear from my perspective. His future will be determined by fate. Is that where you're headed next? Fontaine, the nation of... As far as I know, that nation operates on the judicial... Does their Archon personally judge people? No, there's a Chief Justice in Fontaine. Generally speaking, the Hydra Archon, Focalor, won't preside over... However... Even then, Focalor will still make herself present at just about every trial. As Archon, she still reserves the right to Anyway, let's just say she's got, Are you sure? Huh? About your While you were resting at Gandharvaville, I took some time to perform an Irminsul search for information on your brother. Yeah! Isn't Irminsul a repository for all the information and memories of This is true in your case. Irminsul indeed. However, there must be something different about your brother. Because as it turned... What? There's only one possible explanation.
But nothing about this makes any sense! Wasn't this your first trip to Teyvat?
According to the records I was able to access, after the Conria disaster, he began his journey through the Seven, but just as his journey was about to reach its conclusion,
What do you mean, Fuzz?
all I know for sure is that somebody, for reasons only they can know, and whoever it is, if they can do that,
But even that wouldn't explain how he somehow comes from this world.
something else I noticed was that according to these records, the Fatui have not classified your sibling as one of the Descenders.
What's a Descender?
Look, I'm sure you must be curious about the information I received from the Fatui. A very important part of the intel was about this world's Descenders. Traveler, you are Teyvat's
Huh? So the Fatui count 3 other Descenders before the Traveler and her brother—
That's right. My current hypothesis is that the first Descender, as for the other Descenders, I still need to—
Paimon's head—
And yet, even knowing all this, I'm sure you must still— There are many questions in my heart as well. I will need some time to— And soon, you'll also begin your journey, and I'm very interested in your future. It's a journey that, if fate is the ultimate knowledge, then you're—
Paimon's sure glad we got to—
The pleasure is all mine. Alright, that's enough talk for today. If you ever miss me, just close—
Please, I'm not trying to write a thriller here. It's supposed to be an essay, you understand? An essay! That means facts and logic.
Well, if it's facts and logic you're after, you shot yourself in the foot with your choice of research topic, didn't you? The Tatara Suna mystery. When so much remains unexplained, there's little to be objective about. Unless, of course, you restrict yourself to textual criticism.
Yeah, well, this is my teacher's area of research. I can't change that. But it's fascinating enough without having to sensationalize it, don't you think? The strange location, the missing details, a mysterious person. I want to write my essay on something interesting, and I'm interested in getting to the bottom of all this. That's the only reason I came to you.
Yes, you came to me, so all the more reason to take my advice. The fact is, it's the dramatization that will make people want to read.
Okay, but...
Did one of them just mention Tatara Suna? But that's all the way in Inazuma! Is it just Paimon, or is it kinda unusual for someone in Sumeru to want to write a paper about that? Everyone here is just going about their business. Maybe it really is just Paimon. Guess people here are free to research pretty much anything. Great! Let's go find out what this Tatara Suna mystery is all about.
Alright, I guess I'll go with my textual criticism and your editorial direction for the first draft. I have a feeling that the missing Kabuki Mono will end up being the main focus of this paper. If only we knew where to find that traveler. From what they say about her, this seems like the kind of thing she'd know about.
Oh, you're the traveler, you say?
Hey, what's with that face? Don't believe us?
No, of course I believe you. Actually, I first heard about your great exploits when I was still in Inazuma. This is my first time coming face to face with you and your mysterious silver-haired companion. I couldn't believe my luck, and out of force of habit, I started, examining the evidence. Sorry.
Oh, Sawada, for the love of... Sorry, we don't get out much, so our social skills are kinda lacking. Traveler, I hear you've helped many people a great deal and been to many places. Would you—
Actually, we don't know much about that place either. In fact, we only came over here—
My teacher chose this area of research as a personal challenge. He said it's
If you don't mind, I'd love to show you all my outline for the—
hold on, Sawada. Don't you think that's a bit of a deep dive for a first—
Well, fair point. In that case, please ease yourselves in gently by taking a look at Akaba's latest—
Let me give you some background. This all started with the discovery of some records in Tatarasuna. But in the end, he threw it into a fire to destroy it, and killed his servant Katsuragi. Apart from the swordmaker, his servant, and the one who wrote this all down, the records also mention a kabuki mono.
That's right. Akaba's teacher has spent quite some time researching these events on the ground. This kabuki mono lived in Tatarasuna for a while before disappearing with—
So first this strange person goes missing, then a murder happens?
Yes, my thoughts exactly. So I helped out too. I asked everyone I could think of if—
Stop shouting!
This part's important. It just so happens that a friend of mine works at the government records office. He looked into it for me, and even back then, Tatarasuna was already at the center of Inazuma's smelting industry. The man in charge was—
Wait, so there are 2 missing people?
That's right! What's more, Niwa is a name with a lot of history.
Oh, the swordsmiths? Yeah, like—
Wow, yes. You really know your stuff. That makes things easier. So basically, this Niwa was a distant relative. Something then seems to have happened in the Kaidahara clan, leading to their downfall.
the Kaidahara clan?
Sawada, you left out the biggest—
Oh, yes, of course. How could I forget? Brace your minds, ladies and gents, for they are about to—
Get to the point, for Pete's sake.
According to information acquired by Akaba's teacher, the kabuki mono was not a human—
A puppet?
Aha! Judging by the looks on your faces, you do—
No! Paimon just meant,
I agree, it does. But considering that non-human races in Inazuma are by no means—
Oh, and please read my essay draft as well. Sawada was encouraging me to follow his more creative approach, but I think essays should be grounded in facts. How about if I plug the holes in Sawada's narrative with political intrigue? Like, I could put a turf war between rival factions at the center of the whole series of events.
wait, you're allowed to just make stuff up? Pretty sure you've gone from essay to guessay there.
Akaba, look, your teacher has researched this extensively. I've reached out to everyone I could think of. Whatever information we have now is all that there is to know. This is as much detail as you're ever going to get. Besides, if there really was a political power struggle going on at anything like the level you seem to be suggesting—
Good point. Okay, back to the drawing board, I guess. Give me some time.
We have some other stuff to do, so we'll have to say goodbye for—
All right, thank you. If you find out any more info about—
Hey, so that thing they were talking about. Okay, then even if we did know so, after all, we kicked his butt and got him locked up. Information about people like that is usually super confidential, isn't it? If you ask Paimon, Akaba should just pick a different topic. There must be as many essay topics as there are— Ah! Hey, did you see that? He literally just went by, over there. It looked like the Balladeer! No, it can't have been. He got locked up. Oh, quick, let's catch up and see.
traveler, Paimon.
Nahida! Bad news. We just saw the bell. Did he escape or... Ah! Hey! What are you doing in the sanctuary of...
I know you must have a lot of questions. It was my idea to set the Balladeer free. We made a deal, and he's...
A deal?
What did you expect? Why do you think Sumeru would keep me around otherwise? Or maybe killing me? But if that's the case, why haven't you done it already?
Don't flatter yourself. It was... Nahida said there's still some mysteries in you to figure out.
Ah, so if it were up to you, you'd finish the job? Guess I had you all wrong.
Well, that escalated quickly. Not a good start.
But Paimon's worried about you, Nahida.
It's not every day you see people questioning the God of Wisdom's judgment. Just when you think you've seen it all.
Don't you dare try to drive a wedge between...
As long as the terms are reasonable, I don't think there's a problem in making a deal.
Well, I, for one, have no reason to doubt you. Considering you even struck...
Yes, one in which I gained valuable information. The Balladeer's power was all but completely spent after your battle. He's no longer strong enough to... Plus, he's a former Harbinger with knowledge of many of the Fatui's sensitive secrets. Being stuck here in Sumeru could make him a sitting duck, depending...
Wait a second. Former?
I take no pleasure in saying this, but it seems as if the doctor had no intention of welcoming back a loser, so...
Sometimes it's you using them, other times it's them using you. Most human relationships are this way. Certainly all the stable ones are. So as long as you have some value to offer, nobody will ever abandon you. But after recent events, well, if the Fatui are gonna reevaluate my utility, I need...
As we discussed, I don't like causing harm to living beings. And you said you need...
I think these two have made their objection to that idea fairly clear. Don't you?
Yeah, obviously!
Then let's put that discussion to the side for now. Today can be a trial run. Where we go from here will...
All right. Then I'll do what we...
Good. Go now, and keep in touch.
Nahida, are you serious about this?
Yes. I have my reasons for this decision. In fact, I'm largely doing it for your benefit. Yes. As I told you once before.
Oh, yeah. Actually, that's the whole reason we came to...
Mm-hmm. You may remember me mentioning that the Fatui had not included your twins' details in the Descender category. It's possible that the Fatui have other information that even I don't know about. And since the ballad, he was granted the power to connect with Irminsul when he almost became the god of a new era. Even though he no longer has the Gnosis, some traces of its power remain in him. He can still connect. The amount of information in Irminsul is vast beyond description. Sifting through all of it without... So I asked the Balladeer to search in Irminsul for any information about the Descenders. He's more familiar...
Exactly! Or what if...
I understand. But sometimes, everything is... How things will go in the future depends on what information he brings back. Our minds have connected several times before. There is a corner of your heart. As Sumeru's deity, it is my responsibility to be on guard against the Balladeer. If this deal with the Balladeer can give you the answers you've been longing to find, it's my pleasure, really.
Paimon's still worried about this idea.
I was going to contact you about that, but then you suddenly showed up on your own accord. In fact, I was going to ask you to supervise the Balladeer on my behalf while he carries... Even though he only has a fraction of his full power left, that's still a fraction of a former heart. Of course, I'll be there to help guide you through Irminsul from the... Great. Prepare yourselves.
Wow. It looks pretty different here compared to last time. The colors are gentler. Guess that must be because Sumeru's at peace now.
Look at that. Hot on my heels. You know, you didn't have to cut your catch-up short just to keep me company. Oh, but I guess you panicked when you realized that I might enter Irminsul ahead of you.
Shut your beak, jailbird! No way a prisoner gets to be so smug!
I understand that prisoners have to put up with harassment from the guards. But right now...
Sounds like a successful rendezvous. I need to be quite clear about something. In a few moments, you'll be entering into the unlike anywhere else. Irminsul's inner region consists exclusively... I know there are many grievances between you, on both sides. But
fine, let's call it truce.
Let's cut each other a little slack, shall we? We are gonna, per my agreement with Lesser Lord Kusanali, I'll be at the front. It's my job to lead the way and get rid of any obstacles in our path.
You sure are confident. Paimon will give you that. You make it sound like you're even more experienced at adventuring than us.
If there are no further objections, or did you need some time to mentally prepare yourselves?
Ew! Ugh, the snark on this guy. It's a...
We can start now.
Irminsul access granted.
Is this a small set? Oh, darn it! Come on, let's catch up with him. Wow. So this is the inside of Irminsul. Ooh. Paimon's never seen it.
Irminsul is closely intertwined with the entirety of Teyvat. Every bit of information... Pick your jaws up off the floor.
Why is it that Paimon just wants to do the opposite of everything he says?
Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Can you still sense where the heart...
Yes. Permission to begin searching for information?
Permission granted.
Let's go.
Hey, so... what are you...
I was just imagining the look on your travel companion's face if you went and got lost. Anything's possible in here. You can't rule anything out.
These sapling things have spread out.
Those are all packets of information from inside Irminsul. Be careful not to touch them.
It looks the same in every direction. No wonder he mentioned about getting lost. Huh. What do you know? He was actually telling the truth. Is he mocking me again? What is it this time?
There's a time and a place to lie, but this definitely isn't it. So why don't you relax your guard a little? We're here.
What a huge...
Lesser Lord Kusanali.
Good, you made it.
Ready when you are.
Then please begin. Preparing to access cognitive cur...
The Balladeer's actually doing what Nahida tells him. Guess he...
The rest is up to you. If you discover anything at all...
Will do.
Huh. For once, we're the ones with nothing.
Traveler, Paimon. Yes, I've also invited
Huh? What the? We can talk to each other inside our heads?
That's part of it. Plus,
Paimon's never tried this before. So, Paimon's been wanting to ask you something. Don't you think the Balladeer's a bit of a walking contradiction? He's a...
as I've told you before, there are still some mysteries for him to resolve. Things that are clear as day to me. Perhaps today will be the day that he finds some answers. Well done. Smart and involved with that part of his mind.
Huh. Paimon thought nothing could get under that guy's skin.
Everyone has a history, Paimon. Even if...
Speaking of puppets, we ran into 2 people at the Academia today talking about an essay.
If you mean the mysterious events, the kabuki...
Really? Because from what they were saying, it's...
Oh? How interesting. Those 2 managed...
So the Gese got it right?
Well, they guessed right about one thing.
Must be a riveting conversation you 3 are having. Funny how all the good ones happen when I'm not involved. Don't insult me. You're having a private conversation without me. Obviously, I must be the topic of... Of course you do. You can't have your prisoner knowing to...
So...
Still looking. Don't get your hopes up, though. You and your twin come from outside this world. It wouldn't...
Wait! How did you know about...
It's not like we've never met before. And anyway, you're world famous. It'd be more surprising if I didn't know a few things about you. Right now, we have to keep the peace. I'm not interested in creating more misery for myself. And, huh?
This light... It looks...
Anonymous data.
Hey! Don't you forget the agreement! You have...
Shh! Just...
Mr. Niwa, are you certain this is worth the risk? We are talking about...
There's no one else who can enter the furnace.
Is that so?
It's...
Whoa!
I have been in Tatarasuna for some time now. You under your leadership, as I understand, the Raiden Shogun has, in recent years, eliminated the forging industry with crystal marrow as a raw material. Skills, blood, dreams.
Yes, well, were it not for you coming to Inazuma, you allowed Akame to take all the credit for it. Even now, you remain one of...
You flatter me. From the outset.
So you say, Escher.
My good sir.
I tried to resist thinking it was all connected. What have we gained from adopting your new technology? And recently, as you well know, none of the people who went out to get help have come back. But that doesn't faze you, does it, Escher?
I'm just surprised that you finally chose to be so...
Mikoshi Nagamasa may have noticed that there was one...
After all, Nagamasa...
You're well informed.
Why, Mr. Niwa?
Enough, Escher. I'm here because an evil force is raging and I'm in charge here.
Judging from the look in your...
Drop the act! We're past that now. Whoever you... I just want to know what you're still doing here. What's left? Don't you have a...
Honestly, I'm just waiting for the right moment. A moment like this.
You...
You're a little smarter than I thought I'd disguised myself exceptionally well. It's a long journey from Inazuma to Fontaine, but that didn't stop them. Eventually, they managed to confirm, and yet, despite all of that, you still fail to realize my true identity.
If you kill me, there's no one...
Oh, but you're quite wrong. There is one other person.
Whoever you're working for won't get away with this.
It's no trouble at all. Patience is a virtue. If you must know, I'm happy to divulge my true identity.
The Fatui?
Just to create a minor...
That's it. That's why you...
Look how even the righteous soul is... My device functions precisely... It is easier for a person... Make no mistake.
If he has nothing...
What a beautiful way to see the world. You don't think of me as a monster. I say, Mr. Niwa, let's see what happens. Will your puppet friend become a... Mr. Niwa? Jester, I have completed the task you gave me. Creating it. I'd like to introduce...
or...
Dottore. Dottore! Good.
Was that the doctor? Did he... But why did we...
When I touched the doctor to confirm whether he'd eliminated all his
Maybe so.
Does it? But this memory shows that Niwa didn't. You know very well what that means.
Let's give him some space. He looks really mad.
We need to give him some time to process his emotions.
Paimon's still confused about the Tatarasuna incident.
Nobody has ever deceived you like that, Paimon. It's natural that so now you have the complete picture. It was all a horrific experiment planned by of all the unwitting participants, and after the events you just saw, the load was far beyond what the mechanic answered. The mechanic removed the whip. The balladeer was stunned that he thought Niwa had completely...
Holy moly.
This is an emergency. I'll have to ask you to stay here for now. Everything's arranged, and I'm sorry, but this isn't
an emergency? How bad is it?
Don't worry. If my assessment is correct, though there may be some minor disturbance...
Her voice has gone. Paimon can't shake the feeling that something really big has happened. He wants to change the past? But surely that's impossible! Right! You can't just rewrite history! All that stuff happened. It's like... Imagine Paimon drank all the water in this inn, even if no one was there to see it. So, why does Paimon still have a bad feeling about this? Paimon can't help but feel scared about what he might do. Paimon's... Huh? Ah! Sorry. Paimon accidentally... but erasing yourself from history? It's unthinkable. Is that really possible? Uh-oh. Paimon's had it with that look. There's no way he'll actually succeed, right? There's nothing we can do about it at this point. Hey, have you got any ideas? Seems like now there's nothing left for us to do but to go to sleep. But, Paimon... So, how about... Alright, Paimon will start. First dish. Munch and Dragon chili chicken! Almond tofu! Oh! Also, Adeptus Temptation, golden shrimp balls, triple layered consomme! Paimon was, talking? Huh. Paimon said, Is that a food too? What's wrong? Your eyes are like saucers. Was it something... So, the balladeer is... Okay, sure. Where are we going? Huh? Fine by Paimon, but is everything okay?
Ah, it's been a while. Of course. Go ahead. Oh. Now there's a question I want. The once renowned Raiden Gokuden, the art of forging practiced by these 5 clans, was most of the great swordsmith clan. But fortunately, Kaedehara Kazuha recently returned to Inazuma and took up. If my memory serves me right, you yourself were present.
Oh, yeah, we were! We learned a bit about the decline of the Raiden Gokuden then, too. It's...
That, in fact, this was not made known to me. He told me that there is no harm in telling you the Raiden Gokuden were the targets.
Vengeful?
400 years ago, so I'm told, there was a catastrophic. Tatarasuna was home to a state-of-the-art forging and smelting operation in that day, knowing that they had just one chance to save countless lives, the smith's death. In his heart, powerless, alas. Finally, in his fury, he murdered indiscriminately, killing. But when he came to the Kaedehara and Kamisato clans, his killing spree came to an abrupt. That is why the Kaedehara clan and their Ishin art survived that day.
Was there anything else you wanted to ask?
Kazuha? Why, yes. Just yesterday, in fact. My pleasure.
Don't tell Paimon. There are other places you want to visit too, right? On to the next stop! Leap!
Traveler! It's been a while. If you're looking for the Commissioner and Miss Kamisato,
Are they out on business?
the Commissioner is out on business, and Miss Kamisato is standing in for some meetings in the Commissioner's place.
What do you think? Shall we go in?
If it were anyone else, I couldn't allow it. But seeing as you're so close with the...
We'll be heading in then.
Hello, dears. Is this... Of course, traveler. What would you like to know? Oh, they're both very well indeed. Lately, Miss Kamisato has been... As for the commissioner himself, well, you know, busier.
So pretty much business as usual.
Very much.
Well, got any more questions?
You're very welcome. In fact, I would love Miss Kamisato talks about you all the time. She seems so... I must say, many... I mean, whenever the commissioner dines at home, Toma always joins. The commissioner has such a busy schedule that he doesn't always have the chance. They say it's because Toma is a much better chef than most. They get to talking about Miss Kamisato occasionally joins them as well. Whenever the whole family... It's been many years now since the late Mr. and Mrs. Kamisato passed away. Much has happened. As someone who is old and gray enough to have watched their son and daughter grow up, so in the future, if you ever do have the time, please know you are always very wonderful.
Paimon likes it here too! Also, if Paimon's itching to try it, we may just have to invite ourselves around for dinner sometime. Paimon meant...
Of course.
Alright, goodbye for now! We're, great! Goodbye, ma'am! Don't worry, we'll see ourselves out!
All right, then.
Oh, are you two leaving already?
Yep, everything's taken...
Very well. Safe.
Do I have
What kind of person comes to a place like this and just spaces out?
Hey, I wasn't spacing out. I was...
Sure you were. Your eyes were glazed over, dude. You were a million miles away.
Why are you making fun of me? I told you I wasn't spacing out. I was ruminating on some problems.
Oh, he said Tatarasuna. Looks like we came to the right person.
Oh, is there something you want to know about Tatarasuna? My name's Xavier. Certainly do. I've researched the If there's anything you want to know, just ask away. Like the back of my hand. Make no mistake, I have been here a good many times before. Not only that, but I've met people in Inazuma whose families used to live in Tatarasuna years ago. Oh, well, it's a long story, don't you know? The tale of... I'm told that its history is one of the most foremost forging and smelting operations...
A couple? When?
One was just in the last few years, the other was several hundred years ago. A fun fact, I'm not the first Fontaine tech guy to come and work on it either. There was a guy back then, too. They say he was a mechanic who consulted on a
Hey, weren't you gonna ask Xavier something about the
Oh, I didn't realize you two were here for a history lesson.
Me neither. Paimon doesn't know what's gotten into this one today. Feels like...
What brought this on? Did you just wake up today with a sudden burning Sure, go ahead. A kabuki mono? I do know the word. Inazuman for those eccentric types who always go around dressed to the nines. Just the sort of person that I'd like to be. But sadly, I've never had the pleasure, nor have I come across anything to do with a kabuki mono. Of course! Don't...
Oh, we're leaving? Okay, bye!
Oh, you're most welcome. Farewell.
Looks like you got all the information you're looking for. Sure, but what's up with you today? Keep your smile, Spinal Crocodile, no matter what Hey, don't mention... Alright, let's...
Hey, it's them!
Akaba! Sawada! You're still here?
Indeed we are. If you have a moment, we'd love for you to join us once more.
We have time. What do you want to talk to us about?
It's the same topic we discussed last time.
Still looking for more info about Tatarasuna, huh?
Unfortunately, we haven't made any real progress. Huh? Oh,
I presume you'll want to read mine as well.
Well, what do you think?
Hey, Traveler. Remember how last time Akaba was saying how he wished he could gather more information about all this?
What did you find out?
It's a long story. Basically, we have some friends...
Wow, so many new...
Well, well. So it all comes down to one man's desire for revenge. Huh. You heard this from... Ugh. So there's no ghost story...
This new information actually lends further credence to my
Yes, okay, point taken.
And they're back at it.
Oh, so sorry. Look at us, prattling on about our projects and ignoring you.
You're welcome. See ya.
Keep us in the loop if you find out anything else.
Will do. Nahida, we're here!
Traveler, Paimon.
Ugh, where to start? Paimon hasn't had a moment's rest.
The balladeer? You look troubled. Is there... Traveler?
Hey, what's wrong? You look so upset.
That's quite a story. So, this puppet known as the balladeer erased himself from Ermin.
But how was he?
As the traveler said, he very nearly became Sumeru's deity. Admittedly, I remember it a little differently. Nevertheless, it does make sense. If someone were to
So, you believe this person really existed? And we just don't remember him because...
Yes. Theoretically speaking, it is possible to do this. But the traveler comes from a world beyond to that. That's why there's no information about her in Ermin's soul. And it also explains, so if there's anyone in the world capable of retaining memories from a past that has been rewritten, it's you.
Paimon's having a hard time understanding this balladeer guy's motivations.
I can only make inferences based on the information we've been given. As for what... Something else worrying you? Something that you can't share? It couldn't change the fate of the ones who had died, right? Once the balladeer realized he hadn't been betrayed after all, it must have completely changed his view of the people. He couldn't keep hating humans after that. And the story makes sense. The balladeer tried to achieve godhood with the doctor's help. He was unsuccessful, but that power then enabled him to change what was recorded in Ermin's soul and erect...
Yeah, it does make sense, but it just feels so hopeless. He gave everything...
Please wait a moment. Found it. This should be the one. It turns out that I have a strange way of confirming...
What is it?
A record from a personal collection. It was tucked... You should take a look.
Is this a fairy tale?
I authored this record myself.
Huh? You?
When combined with the Traveler's narrative, it's clear that this story is an allegory.
Hold on. So this record survived from...
Yes. any information about the balladeer or the kabukimono and other records will have been changed. But I wrote this story in a way that means it was left intact. Changing the information in Irminsul changes to that. But Irminsul can't change information that was well hidden in advance. I guess I must have written this story as a backup before the balladeer entered
That's incredible! What a great idea!
And sending the traveler into Irminsul with the balladeer must have been a further precaution. I knew she'd remember. This story is abstract enough that it still resonates with the present information, but if we connect all the different pieces together, the true story that emerges is the one she told us. There was once a lone monster draped in fox fur. Once in a while, the monster would take off its fox fur at night and lament to itself as it gazed at its reflection in the water. I am a monstrosity. But the monster soon found solace when another came to live among the foxes who was not their kin. A kitten, carved from the kitten too wished to become a fox, but its tail was too slender and it could not grow a coat of richly colored fur. Yet when the other... Furious at this happy resolution, the monster lit a fire on the mountain. The terrified animals panicked as a gray fox stood up and addressed the monster. It said, "You are the cleverest among us." The monster smiled, led the fox toward the fire, and murdered it. The gray fox's heart was turned into a... The monster gave the heart of water to the kitten, telling him, "The foxes have decided. You are the one who must be sacrificed. Take this, quench the flames, and..." The fire was extinguished, but the kitten lived. It left that side of the mountain. The two promised they would spend their whole lives together, but the little bird did not have long left to live. It passed away soon after. Never again would it cherish a single creature, nor a single blade of grass that stood on that mountain. The kitten spent the nights wondering how it wished to swallow the moon and devour the moonlight. If the world could only I will become the new moon, the answer to everything. Then...
We solved it!
I remember now. This is not just the balladeer story. To become a god, he was experimented on, and this memory was extracted from him by the scholars. Creating a deity was just the first step. Some of them wanted to be able to control it. That's why they backed up his memory for I buried it deep inside one of my own dreams, and then hid it inside an allegorical story so that it wouldn't be altered.
It's hard to believe that this person really existed, let alone that he tried to get rid of us. Paimon has no memory of him at all.
The balladeer agreed to help me look for information about the Descenders, and although before he vanished, he confirmed an important detail. That Conria, we still don't know how the change to Irminsul will affect the senior ranks of the Fatui, but...
It sounds like Paimon wouldn't like this guy a whole lot if he was still around. But still...
This is why wisdom alone cannot answer all our questions. We look, we see, and we comprehend, but so the answer is not everything. People yearn to find the truth, and then when you give someone the truth, you give them a chance to choose their own destiny. To others looking on, this may seem like a pointless endeavor, but for him, the chance to act on his desire. Never forget that even when we walk beneath dark clouds along a road filled, and that is what you have been doing all along.
Yeah, Nahita's right. Cheer up! How about we go get something to eat?
Good idea. Paimon, why don't you take her out for a walk to clear her head?
You got it! Come on, Traveler! You need to get out of your head for a while. You'll feel much better after Let's go get a snack from one of the stalls in the Grand Bazaar! That'll be sure to lift our spirits! It must be really tough being the only one who remembers all that. But Paimon's always here to help cheer you up.
Take them. I have no need. What should we eat first? Hey, are you gonna answer or what? Alright, whatever you want. Well, Paimon will be right here when you figured stuff out. Then we can get some... What is it? Have you figured it out? Why'd you jump up all of us?
Excuse me, boss. There seems to be a small problem with the last bill. Look.
Hey! Hey, wait!
You mean me?
No, not you. That kid! Didn't you see? Little rascal grabbed my last two... Look, if you're gonna help out here, you can't keep spacing out, okay? What is it? Work's too boring for you? Or is the big city...
I wasn't paying close enough attention. Sorry, boss. I think you're right. Maybe it's the city. It's so exciting.
Who's that guy? You know him or something? He's who?
You're a strange one, kiddo. You say you don't want any money for helping out here, and then when I actually give you some work to do, you keep letting... I don't want to take advantage, so I'm happy to pay you what I'd pay anyone else. But if you keep acting like this, pretty soon I won't be able to afford to.
No, please. I mean it. You don't need to pay me anything.
You're welcome, I guess. But I got bigger things to worry about. Look, we're all out of Sunsetias.
Leave it to me. I'll find some more.
Stop. I'm gonna level with you, kiddo. I've never met a worker who said they didn't want a wage before. And at first, I got greedy. Couldn't believe my luck. You don't want money. You don't take days off. And in your free time, all I see you do is wander around, taking...
That's right, I am. We can talk more about that later. First, let me get those fruits you needed.
Hey, what do we do now? Okay, stay out of sight.
Yeah.
Even though you say he's the balladeer? Oh, alright.
This should be enough. Guess I should wash them. Huh? You two over there.
He spotted.
You've been following me all the way from the city. Have we? No, we haven't met. But I have no recollection.
Are you
Sorry, but I just can't take your word for
a puppet?
Huh?
You were right.
I guess you do know me after all. That is not something I share with a lot of people. Look, I'm just a wanderer. But seeing as you've gone through all this trouble to track me down, okay. But please let me deliver these goods to my—
Are you really working for that guy? He said you don't want any more for—
Yes, I ran into him out in the wilderness during a storm. And he let me take shelter in his cart. In return—
That's oddly not—
Let me take these back. Then I'll come with you.
Then let's return to the city.
Here you go, boss.
Oh, you really went and picked some more.
Something's come up, and they need to borrow me. Sorry, boss.
I was just about to pay you anyway. Go wherever—
What?
I get it, okay? You just wanted to help me out, to thank me for giving you shelter from the rain that day. But look, it was pouring down, and there you were, sauntering along without a care in the world, like you had nowhere to be, and didn't imagine you were me for a second. It's a little weird, right? Why is this guy traveling during a rainstorm if he's not trying to get somewhere? And why is he taking a shortcut through the open country if he's not even in a hurry? But anyway, taking you in didn't put me out even slightly. You don't owe me a thing for it. Certainly not all this. Your time is valuable. You know, you should—
But I don't— No. Then I suppose this is where we say goodbye.
Don't mention it, kiddo. I've run into all—
Thank you. All right, done.
What's wrong? Huh?
Hello. I do apologize for the—
We found this guy in the street, but he doesn't seem to remember anything.
You say that you are trekking across Teyvat to train yourself.
Well, it seems more relevant in my case. To me, it sounds like a plant with no roots. But these two claim that they know me, and that I have a hidden past unknown even to myself.
I wouldn't call it the past, but rather, I don't like to rely on using terms like this often, but—
Oh, like a past—
Yes, something far more distant than the past.
Okay, I have to ask. Oh, okay. You want to tell me, but you can't bring yourselves to say it. Looks like I didn't have the most wonderful existence. If it's that difficult to talk about, but I'll be able to handle it.
Is truth something you care—
Yes.
Then I'll be straight with you. In your previous incarnation, you nearly died because of what other people did, and many died because of you. As a non-human being, you hated gods and humans alike. You drifted from place to place, never able to settle, even where you found status and identity. Actions rooted in persistence sometimes bear bitter—
I gave everything I had, but it barely changed history at all.
In terms of the outcome alone,
I don't think I can judge everything I've heard purely in terms of each choice a person makes belongs to a specific place and time. A chain of cause and effect.
that is the nature of truth. If one thing is right, its opposite must be wrong. And yet...
It seems like my previous incarnation wasn't the most likable.
We're not trying to hurt your feelings or anything.
If we were enemies, why are you...
This is so frustrating! This guy's supposed to be our arch enemy, but now he's just he's got so much to answer for, but we can't make him talk because he doesn't remember anything.
Lesser Lord Kusanali, as the god of wisdom...
Yes, it's all true. I can even show you the memories
Please, I want to see them for myself. I want to...
Even though it will cause your present self great mental anguish?
I'm just a puppet. With no heart and no name.
Very well.
Wait, shouldn't we go with him? This one's kind of on us.
Don't worry. Whatever danger I might face, it's my...
Traveler, could I ask you to supervise him on my behalf?
Oh, good point. Given your, unique situation...
Understood.
Thank you.
This looks like Inazuma.
Right now, you're in a dream I created using information These memories will show you the raw truth. But be aware that
Sounds like an immersive experience.
You don't need to do this for me.
We never give up halfway. Well...
Alright.
Wanderer, this is the Shake Pavilion. In your Balladeer incarnate...
Is that because this is kind...
You could say...
I hear footsteps.
This place is huge. I can't believe the landslide didn't fill it in. I wonder who built it. The Crystal Marrow Miners? No, there's no way. Look at this exquisite construction work, and so well preserved, too. There's someone... You're awake. What happened? Not a scratch.
This man is Katsuragi, deputy to Torichiyo's adopted son, Mikoshi Nagamasa. He found
And the rest is history.
In the original version of events, Katsuragi was ultimately killed by Nagamasa.
Let me get you out of here. Our people are nearby. Hang in there.
During the Tatarasuna incident, Niwa was murdered by the doctor, disguised as a mechanic. The Balladeer, then known as the Kabukimono, disappeared as the second-in-command at Tatarasuna. But Katsuragi had sworn lifelong loyalty to Nagamasa after the latter had once saved his life. At Katsuragi's insistence, Nagamasa...
Katsuragi seems like he was a good guy.
He looks like a warrior, but he has a kind face. Why couldn't he live a long and happy life?
Nagamasa, I found this young guy in a cave sealed off by a landslide. He doesn't remember his name.
Well, we need to call you something. I hear the workers are calling you the Kabukimono.
That's fine with me.
Katsuragi, report to Niwa. Tell him we have someone new joining us.
This is where you were born? It's pretty...
I was abandoned, like you. I lived here for a while at first, but...
Okay. I heard my mom and dad used to make swords, but the factory manager died. And then my dad got sick. He kept coughing all the time, just like me. Then Mom started coughing.
But you can't. You
Yup, we're family now.
This child didn't have a name. Or rather, the balladeer didn't know what to call him. His father died. After his mother died, the child stayed in their straw hut alone. After leaving Tatarasuna, the balladeer ran into this child who didn't have a name, just like him.
What happened to the child then?
He died from his illness while he was still very young. The balladeer came home one day and found that he had stopped breathing.
Hey! What's wrong? Say something! You promised me we could be family! You're no different from Niwa and all the others. You betrayed me too. The voices have gone. It looks like the...
Let's keep going.
You do realize you're blocking my path.
I come not to obstruct you. I've been waiting. What you are truly is a weapon. One that could be wielded with an iron will. Or you could continue to drift aimlessly.
Are you trying to win me over?
Long-fated rebellion has begun. Why not take your place at the banquet and join those who shall feast?
This is trouble.
I condemn you!
I guess this is it.
Torn to oblivion! Illusion shattered!
Come at me. Put your back into it. Killjoy, we've only just begun.
Now you shall perish!
Can't run. Well, looks like I went too far.
This place is dark.
Paimon knows that in the original version of events, the Traveler once encountered the balladeer here.
Such a creepy atmosphere. Hey, look over there!
Well, well, my fair lady. Is this rundown factory and these incompetent fools all for me? Wow. You shouldn't have.
Huh. What do you have to gain from belittling your subordinates? You might not want to admit it, but you are perhaps you find fighting in the abyss to be a more meaningful use of your time? Oh, but of course, even this pales in comparison to being
What a sharp tongue you have. Funny how negotiating never seems to be your strong suit. For the task ahead, I suggest you keep your true feeling.
Save your breath. I know what I have.
I'm sure you think so, but I still think you need to hear it. Don't start thinking you're invincible.
Surely you're not.
I just can't have you getting in my way. You and Child never fail to find ways to complicate things.
I'm merely lighting a little fire in this chaotic nation. But you, being tossed out like trash, do you remember the last time you were here? That was a lot of swordsmiths you killed. I'm sure the descendants of the Raiden Gokaden are still... Look at you. Oh, don't get so sentimental. Now, give that By then. See you at the victory feast.
Poor little tongue? Forget it. Someone might find me here any minute now. I should prepare to give them a warm...
The plot does not end here. There is more of this story.
Yes.
Why are you staring at me in silence? Can't you think of a nicer way to express yourself?
I'm under no obligation to be nice to you. Besides, I thought nothing mattered to you except results in your own interests. Isn't that right, witch?
Muddle-headed puppet. You're only number 6 because you can take more abuse than other humans. Do you really count that as an asset?
You're about as much fun to be around as a raging inferno. But before we murder each other, it'd be best if we finish our duties.
Your life is mine. Rack and ruin. Good grief.
Prepare yourself.
Over here. Blink. Don't waste my time. Vengeance will be mine. Eye for an eye.
Can't run from death.
Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion. It's nothing. Submit.
Let me amuse myself a little.
Looks like we've arrived in Sumeru. Is that?
Considering that Amorta's sage, Nafis, refused to join this project, I'll take part.
Welcome. I look for...
When do we start?
You seem impatient. You should know that becoming a god is far from a trick.
The biological transformation is a lengthy process. As such, I too would recommend that we commence as soon as possible, in the event that a successful connection is
Nothing worse than what I've been through before then, Doctor.
You were the most resilient test subject I ever came across. Thanks to you. Alas, after that, you were under orders to remain in the abyss. We barely saw each other.
That was gracefully worded. Ever wonder what they think if they knew that nothing matters?
I suggest you speak to me in a more respectful tone, Scaramouche. The mere fact...
The doctor again?
That person gives off a very sinister energy.
It's normal for him to give you the creeps. He scares the...
Let's move on.
You're a god. Do you think I'm evil?
If you accept that he is you, just as you are you, then yes.
In your eyes? Are there any...
Do you think there are any differences between your present self and your Whoever has tasted the joys and sorrows of life in the human realm is human.
I've seen enough of my past. If possible, I'd like to no matter the consequences. I won't run from blame or punishment. Can you return my memories?
Huh? But won't that mean you're...
I've always believed that human lives follow a set of rules. As a puppet living in a human world, my life is...
Regaining your memories means reverting completely to your previous incarnation. Are you sure you want to...
I've lived with the void in my chest my whole life. My creator didn't need me. And ever since I awoke, I've just drifted... But then I met you. And I finally realized that... I've always felt I have an innate tendency to yearn for something more, in a way that goes deeper than for most people. So I beg you, grant me this opportunity to gain a...
Very well. Since your mind is made up, I will return... You have made your decision. Now, take this.
Set him free?
A puppet? What's he doing here? You're a human as far as I'm concerned.
Everyone's here. Wonderful.
What a fine blade. Nagamasu will be thrilled.
This is my...
Is he alright?
All worthless dross will be purged. That's why this won't be the end. This is trying my patience.
Have you got all your memories back now?
Have you got any more stupid questions? Insignificant past! Squall and Fury! At my command, you shall fall! You're dead! The wind rises! Evil human! Squall and Fury! You dare to gaze upon me? Insignificant past! Imbecile!
It disappeared.
What did you expect?
There's the tone of voice again. Wait, but it was you inside that thing too.
Sorry. I'm harsh on myself and everyone else. Just the way I... You sound like you're concerned, but don't worry. Thanks to you, even if I didn't change a thing...
The memory recovery seems to have been a success.
Come on. Let's
Welcome back, traveler. Paimon, Balladeer.
It feels like we just went on a really long...
You don't like being addressed by that name?
It's fine. But I was just thinking, after learning about everything the doctor did, there's no way I can care. I'm not planning on returning to the Fatui, and they wouldn't take me back anyway. Recent events will have affected a lot of people, and they might not even remember who.
So, you're quitting the Fatui for good?
It's like you said, Lesser Lord Kusanali. Everything may look futile, but it wasn't completely meaningless.
But that doesn't mean your own past has disappeared.
Of course.
And your main goal, for which you gave up everything you had, you weren't able to achieve it. I hope you can see and understand changing the world, changing the past, changing the fates of other people. What you were looking for is complete annihilation. But this is just a fantasy. Even if the Balladeer is removed from existence, the world...
Indeed.
Do you regret doing all that when you've gotten...
Even if I'm completely worthless, there's nothing in the world. Lesser Lord Kusanali, you purposely left that information in Irminsul, didn't you?
Yes, and I took pains to make sure that you'd acquire that information naturally.
Why would you go to such lengths? You trying to win me over to...
In all honesty, your past experiences have made you a useful asset to Sumeru and to me. Winning you over was... But before that, I wanted to tell you the truth about your past.
Very clever.
I guess you could say that's one of my virtues.
Utility to others is what gives me worth. So if embracing my sins... Oh right, I almost forgot. You're... Sorry if I have a slightly different perspective on things, but I don't feel like I've been duped. The wisest leaders are fated to end up with the best helpers.
I'm glad you're able to think of it. And Traveler, in the future, I'll continue to search Irminsul more deeply, including the beginning of your twins' journey recorded in Irminsul. What exactly happened before? I will try.
Traveler. After I dove into the information torrents in Irminsul, why did you go to Inazuma? So that's how you found out whose fate had changed. Well, whatever your reasons, you did me a favor, and I'll do everything I can to pay it back. Borrowing and returning are the only real relationships between individuals.
That's not true. A relationship between two people is not simply a ledger that can be I think deep down you realize this. People who show up in your life don't just evaporate like water drops and leave nothing but... Some things in this world can never be brought back. And they can never be... Everything that you feel is real and lasting. And what to be human is to live with imperfections. You can choose what...
But humans can't live without a heart, can they? Anyway, I gave up trying to become a human a long time ago.
You understand what pain is perfectly well, even without a heart. You're just bearing your feelings. The past is set in stone, but you can keep moving on. And the longer your future lasts, the shorter your past will become, until one day...
Sounds like you've got a future planned out for me.
Everything's ended up being pretty darn complicated. Paimon doesn't even know where...
Then I guess I'll be helping you from behind the scenes from now on.
I'm glad that you've accepted our proposal. Why don't you...
Ooh! Paimon wants to...
Why?
Because...
Then I hope...
A name is life's first gift. You didn't say it out loud. The Traveler and Paimon have helped you a lot. If you can't decide on a new...
No! Paimon only does nicknames! If it's a serious name you're after, it's all you...
Have you got... Are you sure? Oh, alright.
There. Now...
What about a nickname? Are you done yet? Take your time. I don't need to see you again until you've thought of everyone who manipulated me and made me suffer.
You mean the fatigue?
The doctor.
Now that your stance has changed, I believe your future path will change accordingly.
One more thing. There are still some descendants of the Raiden Gokuden living in Inazuma. Some of them know. I don't plan to leave Sumeru for the time being. If you see them in Inazuma, please tell them, even though the events have been erased from the world.
I see.
Huh?
It's fine. Let them stab their blades into my chest if they so desire. What's that look for? That day will come. Alright, goodbye, wise deity. And you too.
He's gone.
What he went through today would have been like living an entire lifetime in an instant.
Yeah, true. But even so, after everything, so we can finally go eat?
Thank you both.
I've got it! I can end my novel with some words from...
You mean because
Yeah! I heard that Mikoshi Nagamasa died at the dark clouds had dissipated. Then, one night, as an old man, he had all these expressions of joy. Life is a story too long...
Yeah.